Hallo und herzlich willkommen hier im Podcast Mindset und More oder auf unserem YouTube-Channel Brunnervibes. Ich werde in Kürze auf Englisch wechseln, weil ich habe heute ganz einen speziellen Gast. Und zwar ist das Marco Pesenti aus Italien. Er ist vor kurzem Blue Diamond geworden und ja, ich wechsle auf Englisch, weil ich möchte euch dieses spannende Interview natürlich nicht vorenthalten. Hello, Marco. So nice to have you here. I'm so happy to have you here. We saw you on the doTERRA convention in Italy just a few weeks ago, and I truly have to say your speech inspired me so much that it was like the first thought I had after your speech. Like, I want to get to know you. I want to have you in my podcast on our YouTube channel. Hello, Marco. Welcome to this interview today.
Thank you. Hello everyone, and thank you, Claudia. It's an honor for me to be here in your podcast. I'm happy to have this chat with you and to talk about the doTERRA business and of course what we love. So I'm here for you and all the people that will listen to this podcast.
So nice. We're gonna, of course, like share the YouTube in all our social media channels. I think it's really important for everybody who is doing the doTERRA business to hear from you what do you have to say, because I think it's really inspiring, and we're gonna cover some topics in that podcast which I think is really important for a lot of people who are doing the doTERRA business, because we're going to speak about growth and also about how we can overcome obstacles when it comes to growth. But first of all, please tell us, Marco, who are you? Like, where do you come from? Of course, you come from Italy, but like, tell us a bit more, like, also a bit about your story, maybe when you came to doTERRA, and what is always really interesting, what was your life before doTERRA?
Okay, well, my name, of course, is Marco Pesenti. I'm 33 years old. I come from Italy, in a small town in the north near Milan, and my life changed on the last day of July 2017 when I joined doTERRA. What was my life before doTERRA? I don't say that it was a nightmare because it was a good life, but from a professional point of view, it wasn't so good as it is now, because I used to work in an office. I have a full-time job. I know that many people, especially in Italy, dream about a full-time job in an office. But at the beginning, I was happy with that. I was okay. But after a while, I realized that the situation wasn't good for me, because I didn't like having a boss. I didn't like have to ask for a permission for every stuff that I have to do. For example, I had to do to the bank, to the mechanic for the cars, and so I have to ask every time to my boss if I could take a leave. So, and then most of all, I worked far away from home, because you have to consider that I stayed out of home from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So very few free time. So I decided to join doTERRA in July 2017, and that was the best choice of my life. But don't think that it was an easy choice, because at that time I didn't know anything about essential oils. I was also very skeptical in MLM, in network marketing, because many people think that MLM is a scam, and I was one of those people. So it wasn't easy, but fortunately I gave myself the opportunity to study this industry, and I found out that there were many people that were earning good money, and they were living well with MLM and network marketing. My upline was in the first line, because since the beginning I saw Matt Hall, this guy from the US, very famous now. He's doing crazy stuff, and so I said, wow, he's a young guy. At that time I was 26 years old, and he's a couple of years older than me. And I said, okay, if he's doing this kind of life, I will do the same. And so I decided to go all in, and for 3 years I did doTERRA. I mean, in the evenings and during the weekends, because for 3 years, doTERRA was my plan B. And then, of course, I decided to quit and finally achieve the freedom that I've always dreamed of. So very, very, now I can say that I am living the life of my dreams, that's for sure.
Oh my God, I get like goosebumps. It's so interesting how a lot of like very successful leaders say the same. Like I was really skeptical on network marketing. I thought it's a scam. Like I was the same. I was like, I'm never gonna do this. And now, like 5 years later, I'm like, it's the best thing ever to do. I mean, of course, after the start, I already changed my mindset, but I think it's really important for everybody who's listening, who is maybe not even yet started the business or is in the really beginning. I think it's so important to hear from a very successful leader like you are that it's normal to have this feeling in the beginning. Like it's just not what we get taught in the school, like go and do network marketing. But yeah, it gives obviously so much freedom and yeah, really inspiring to hear. So can you maybe tell us a little bit more when you start with doTERRA, like how did you build your business? Did you mainly build it offline or online? You said that you like a lot of us start on the evening and in the weekends. It's mostly a really big struggle to like start a business because most of us have like a normal job or things like that. But yeah, tell us a bit more. How was your start?
Well, my start was, I can say, 100% online. You have to consider, I mean, consider this situation. I was a guy, 26-year-old, and I've never talked about essential oils, natural remedies, and stuff like that. And one day, out of the blue, this guy starts talking about doTERRA, holistic well-being. I mean, my friend thought that I was crazy, out of mind. And so, if I have to tell the truth, I was a little bit also ashamed to talk about this stuff with my, let's call the hot market. And so, what did I do? I went online and I worked especially with Facebook, Instagram, website, YouTube, and stuff like that. And I can say that until a few years ago, because now, of course, I do also events and talk about doTERRA everywhere, but until a few years ago, 100% of my enrollments came from the online, so from people that I never knew before doTERRA. So I found them, or they found me because I always used an attractive marketing. So with video on YouTube, with advertisement on social media, I did the contents and people got in touch with me. So until a few years ago, all my enrollments were from people that I didn't know. Now the situation is a little bit changed, but I keep going doing the business both online and offline. Especially I like finding the people online and then bring them in a room, because you know, offline, when you are face to face, the relationship is better, is stronger, and you can know much better the person that you have in front of you. But I mean, I really work also online as well. I can say that before COVID, I was probably the first one in Italy that was working online in a professional way in 2018, 2019. So I had a big growth during the year thanks to my online presence. Yeah, let's say like that. And I didn't do any special courses for this. I mean, I did just one course for learning the online skills. But before I joined doTERRA in March 2017, just for my personal culture, I did an online course to learn about Facebook advertisement, Instagram advertisement, how to build a website. And then after a few months, I joined doTERRA and I took all those skills and I used them to build my business. And since 2017, I'm still using those skills that I learned years ago. So how I build my business? Yeah, 90% online, because I like to find the contacts online. But then offline for me is a must as well. And because I did the 100 events challenge last year, and that was most of all offline, so all over Italy, and that was a great boost to my growth and the growth of my team. So if I can give an advice to people, do both online and offline, and you don't miss anything.
So inspiring, so interesting. You said something really, really important in the beginning. You said like you felt ashamed to like talk to your hot market about like essential oils, holistic health, and all this kind of topics. How did you overcome this feeling ashamed? Because I think that's something a lot of people can relate with, that in the beginning, like, yeah, they don't want to talk with their friends about, hey, like use peppermint, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true. I was ashamed, and for a long period, I've been ashamed of talking about doTERRA of essential oils to my hot market. But maybe this was because my friends since the beginning, how can I say, they were making joke of me, of my this my new business, this my new way to use oils in my lifestyles. And so since I saw this behavior of my friends, I said, okay, for the moment, I don't touch my hot market, but I go only online. When I will be more confident and I will get more results, I can go back to my hot market. So in my case, I overcame this situation by going online, starting talking to new people, many people. So in this way, I also made experience in the business, how to interact with people, how to talk about the oils, because at the beginning, guys, it was a nightmare. Now we have a big event in Italy next Saturday, and I will be on the stage talking about how to do a class, how to present a class. And in my hard disk, I found out the recording of my very, very, very first class in front of 10 people. And I can tell you that I cannot look at me in that video. It's terrible. But just to say that in some cases, I of course went out of my comfort zone, and I learned skills to present, to talk to people, to talk about the oils. And when I was confident with that, I came back to my hot market, because in my case, talking to the hot market was much more difficult than talking to the cold market. So it took some years, in my case, of experience on the field, talking each day to new people, going around Italy to do classes everywhere. And then now I can, in very, very confident way, do classes also in my small village, talking to my friend about Deep Blue for your sport, exercise, talking to pretty anyone, everybody about the oils. So I believe that it is a sort of personal growth that people has to go through. It's not the same for everyone. I can give you what was my experience and my advice. So I decided to start first with the cold market and then to the hot market. But for everyone is different. Also because I was very, very young. So maybe if someone starts maybe it's 40 or 35 years old, maybe it's different from myself. I was always out doing parties with my friends. And so at some point I started talking about natural well-being, natural holistic well-being. It was, it wasn't, I mean, it was strange. It was weird for the people that were around me. And so I had to take some time to adjust the situation. Let's say like that.
Yeah, but so interesting. Thank you so much for sharing this, because I think it's so, so important as well that, yeah, like wellness advocates who are listening to this, which are maybe elite right now or premier, that they hear like it took you a few years to like be confident in your warm market. And I experienced something similar. Like I had really a long time to like fully commit to the business, even I was very successful already. to my warm market, because yeah, like I think it's just the personal growth we have to go through, and yeah, it takes some time. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing this. I think it's just so important that everybody here, like this is a part of the way you do, like when you are blue diamond or PD or like a high rank, it's yeah, we also had these kind of periods in our successful way, no? I mean, that's so
Exactly,
important.
exactly.
Yeah,
Well, from our hard time, tough time, we are here now. So we have to go through and to overcome all the obstacles that we found on our way. So for that, we can be of inspiration for many people. That's for sure.
exactly. So on the convention, you had this amazing speech, and I think I told it already. I shared it in my team, like I don't know, around 10 times. So they all know they have to see your speech, which you've done. And yeah, that's why I also invited you to this podcast, because for me, I love speeches which on the end we get like something in the hand which we can say like, okay, that's a solution for a problem. Like I love this kind of speeches, and you really touched my heart because I can so relate with the situation that yeah, you're on a rank and then you're like, okay, how can I go further, right? It's like and we all know in a way like doing events is probably a good solution but I think you showed it in such a brilliant way that it's really, really important. Doesn't matter which rank we have, doesn't matter where we are, like kind of go back to the basic, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, for anybody who hasn't been on the convention and haven't seen your speech, can you please like tell us a bit what were you speaking about? Like how did you create that amazing growth in your business?
Well, yeah, first of all, it was really an honor to be able to speak on the stage of convention. And it was also I mean, it was easy because I had to tell about what I did. So my personal experience and what happened last year. Now, okay, I am BD, I'm happy and I'm a solid diamond, okay. But last year, the situation was completely different because I was diamond. I mean, 1 month I was diamond, the next one gold, then diamond again. So for sure I wasn't a solid diamond. And believe me, I was really, really frustrated about the situation. And
Yeah,
so
sorry, I just wanted to say, I think for everybody who is listening and is maybe elite or premier or silver, they maybe think, well, but what's the problem? I mean, you hit diamond and then you're gold. I mean, that's amazing. But when you are in this situation, I think it's nothing more frustrating in the doTERRA business than falling back, not just one, but two
yeah,
ranks. I mean, that's like, ooh, it's like, yeah, it's really frustrating.
yeah, you have to consider that for one entire year, I never hit platinum, for example. It was either gold or diamond. That's crazy if you think about that, but that's true. And I was really, really frustrated. And so I was always looking for new ways to find new growth, new stability, new people. And when I attended an event in Bologna, in Italy, that doTERRA organized with a special guest that it is Elena Cimpuesciu, okay, that event was really inspiring for me. So that's why I always suggest people to go to the events because they are so important. And in particular, when Elena said that in the past she had a very exponential growth by doing a crazy numbers of events in a short time, in a short period of time, I said, okay, that is what I have to do because one of the error, I mean, I was still doing events, I was still doing the job, enrolling people and so on. But when you have a sort of challenge in your mind, I mean, in my case, this helped me a lot to stay on the move. I mean, very, very consistent. So I started in August, and I don't know if it's the same for you guys in Switzerland or in Germany, but in Italy, August is the worst month of the year, because we have this culture idea that in August all the people goes on holiday, companies shut down, so it's very, very hard to do the business in August. But I said, I don't care, there has to be a starting point. So I started in August with a couple of classes, not so many, but it was a good starting point. And then I planned all my classes in September, October, November, December. This was really, really important because it gave me the opportunity to be active, to be on action. And so I did a lot of classes everywhere, in holistic center, yoga room, private houses, even pet grooming shops, for example. So every in gardens, I mean, every place is fine for doing a class, for doing a class. And then what happened? It happened that many people in my team started doing the same. And this was very nice because my action inspired others. And this was good because at the end of the year, my goal was to hit 100 events from August to December, but I didn't reach this goal. I'm honest, I did only 58 events, but the growth, I mean, I saw a growth in my team, an important growth. For example, at the end of the year, we had 2 new gold, for example, and consider that before that, I didn't have golds in my team. I just had 4 silvers. That's it. So by the end of the year, we saw new golds, new premier, new elites, and so on. And so I said, wow, this is working. And so I decided to keep going. Also in 2024, in fact, we had 2 more goals, and then we had really an exponential growth also because we had new leaders that came in our organization, in our team, person that had experience in this industry, and for sure helped our team to grow. But everything started with this challenge that I started for myself, but at the end inspired many other people to act, and that was amazing for sure.
So cool. Yeah, so of course I have some questions for the challenge you did, because I think for everybody who's listening, they probably say a lot of people say probably, okay, so doing a lot of events, doing a challenge sounds amazing, but first of all, how do you find the people coming to the events? I think that's a common problem. Also, when you look at the pipes of doTERRA, like I hear that in a lot of mentorings I do with my team, but like when we plan an event as a diamond or blue diamond or PD, I think we know how to do it. But when you are elite or even executive or even not have even any rank, a common problem is like, yeah, I plan an event, but nobody's coming. What did you experience that, or how did you manage that you not only have the events but also have the people for the events?
Exactly, yeah, of course, because I can organize all the events I want, but then if these events are without people, that's no good. And if I think at my experience in the past, there were a lot of times that me and my upline Yara stayed in our office to do a class, waiting for people that they never arrived. So this is normal. I mean, I remember now. Of course, for sure, unfortunately, I have more experience in this. And for example, if I have for an event just 2 people, and maybe I have to drive a lot of hours by car, I say, okay, let's wait a moment, let's do the event maybe next week, because otherwise the risk is that I go there and there is no one, and I did the journey for nothing. But at the beginning, I can tell you that I traveled all around Italy, and sometimes happened that I went there for nothing. Sometimes I even took fines, when you park the car in the wrong way, you go in the wrong road. And so some if I think to some trips, they were a suicide from the point of view of financial, because the fuel to go there, the money to pay the hotel, and then the fines that I took every time with my car. So now I'm laughing, of course, but at that time I wasn't laughing at all, I can tell you that. But there were all lessons that teach me how to do and what don't do. That's important. But I mean, this was years ago. During this challenge, of course, yeah, how do we find people? Well, as I told you before, I always do online advertisement when I organize an event. So in my case, the online advertisement, I do it always because I see that every time I have new people that can come to the events, and even if someone cannot make it for that special events, I take his name and last name, and I wrote this name on my Excel file, and next time I will be in that area, in that city, for sure I will get in touch with that person, and I will invite it. So if also if someone cannot make it for your events, don't forget his name, but put it down on an Excel file, for example, and for the next time you can have one person that can come for sure. Then I can understand that many people are not able or don't want to do online advertisement. So we usually use also an old-fashioned way. In particular, we did posters in local shops. For example, as I said during my speech, I live in a small town, in a small village. We are about 3,000 people. And last September, I decided to organize free classes in my town, so with my warm hot market. And I decided to promote them by simply putting posters in local shops. So very, very easy posters that anyone can do on Canva. And just by doing that, more than 30 people came to my classes. So this was a good way to promote the events without having special skills. And I know people all over Italy who use this approach, and it works for sure. Then, of course, then if you want to learn how to advertise your events online, that's it's a plus, and for sure you will have much more success. But if you want to start very, very easy, just put posters in local shops, and I can tell you that they work very, very well. Then when I talked about online advertisement, I refer to paid advertisement, because I always do paid advertisement with Facebook and Instagram. So I paid a few euros per day, Facebook and Instagram, to show the post that I do to the people interested in natural well-being. But don't forget that online advertisement can be also, you take the poster that you do and you place it, you post it on your stories, on your feed on Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram. So you get multiple exposure, and for sure someone will come. And then again, don't forget, when you get a new person that says, okay, I come to your event, always ask this person, but do you have some friends that can come to the meeting with you? This is very powerful, because you can expand very, very quickly the cycle of contacts. And many times in my cases happened that the person that I personally invited didn't enroll, but then this person took to the meeting a friend, and that friend enrolled with me, maybe also as a wellness advocate. So that's incredible. And so in my cases, I found people in this way. Then I know that if you have to be creative, I mean, you have to have a new idea to promote your event and to reach more people. The secret is to expand continuously your cycle of contacts. But I do it in these ways that I just told you, and I didn't have a problem in the last 7 years. So this is what I suggest also to my team.
So inspiring. Would you say, like, what was your biggest challenge in that challenge? Like, yeah.
Well, this is a good question. Okay, in that challenge, Yeah, I know the answer. Well, even if you are committed to do this challenge and you say, okay, I will do it because I know that can give me some good results. Sometimes the temptation to sit back was very, very strong because sometimes you have to consider that I did most part of the challenge in months like October, November, December. So sometimes maybe I looked outside my window. I saw it was raining, it was snowing, the weather was cold, and maybe I had to do. I had to take the car and drive a few hours to go there, and said, "Wow, but why am I doing this? I mean, I'm not a solid diamond, but I am living well with my doTERRA business, and I can avoid to do this class, and I can be okay as well." But then I remember, no, I committed myself to do 100 events, so I'm going. I remember last year I drove, that was crazy. Don't do that, guys. I remember that I had to drive 2 or 3 hours away in another city, and there were how you say it in English, the fog,
Yeah, yeah, the
yeah,
fog, yeah.
okay, complete fog, 100% fog. I couldn't see 2 meters from the window of my car. So I was driving. I say, oh my gosh, now I'm going to do an accident, to have an accident just to do a class. And but then fortunately everything went fine. But that was, for example, a case in which I said, oh, this challenge is not good for me. So the challenge in the challenge was to keep every time the right mindset to keep going and don't quit, because it would be very easy to say, okay, I'm sorry guys, but the challenge stops here. Probably I would have done this if the challenge I would have kept the challenge to myself. But since I went online and I said, guys, I'm doing this challenge, I mean, I love my reputation, and I love that people see that I am doing. I do what I did. I do what I
What you
tell.
speak, yeah, what you tell,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. And so I always kept going, even if in some situation, in some moments, it wasn't easy. So the mindset, guy, it's all about the mindset,
Right.
even in this situation.
So inspiring. Yeah, I think that's so important what you say. I think because with this challenge, what I love about the challenge, and that's why we starting it. We like, I mean, I already committed it to my team. Like we're gonna do the same. We're gonna do 100 events until the next convention. So we just
Wow.
started like last week.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting what like just to commit to that challenge, what it's already like shifting inside us. And it's so interesting. And I am so on fire to do it, because what I love about this challenge is, as in the role as an upline with a big team, I think it's so important that we leaders show, doesn't matter which rank you have, we do the basics, right? Like it's
Exactly.
all about enrolling, it's all about doing events, it's all about bringing the people to these products. And I think that's why I love it, because I think it's really important that's the focus about doTERRA. I mean, of course, leadership is a big main part, but I spoke with my diamonds about it, and I say, like, for you, for diamonds, it's like the perfect thing to do, because what is happening when you go higher with the ranks, there are so many things which you think are important, and you're going to do it, and your schedule is always filled up, but you don't do events, or you don't do the basics anymore, because you kind of shift your focus to like more leadership, more whatever. And I think it's this challenge is so good to like bring back the focus to what is really important in that business. And important is enrolling and bring the
Exactly.
products to the people.
Yeah, in fact, I call this approach management mode trap. I mean, when you stop enrolling, you stop doing events, but you think in the wrong way that you are okay, you are fine, you have maybe 4 silvers, 5 silver, 5 gold, whatever, and you just stay there to do management on all these people, and you stop doing the basics. So for sure, this challenge helped me to go back to the basics. That's very at the end of the day, it's very easy. I mean, the pipeline, the pipes are there, and they are so easy that everyone can do it. And if you do them with consistency, even if you are at a higher rank, then you will be always new people, new leaders, new enrollee, and new leaders. It's important in my case as well, because I had only 4 silvers, and then that's why I was a small and a weak, not solid diamond, because I could count only on 4 leaders. And in the month that one or more of them were out of the game, I as well was out of the game. So this challenge also helped me to find and develop and helped people to become new leaders in my team. And now I have them as well. So this is important.
So cool, so cool. So the last question about this challenge, if like somebody is listening who is really in the beginning, or somebody who is maybe really stuck in his business right now, and say like, okay, I want to do it, but like if I do like a poster in my local community, and I get like, I don't know, negative vibes about it, or as we say, nobody's coming, like, what is your main suggestion? Like what I hear from you is like a lot about the mindset, right? Like keep on going. That's what I always say. Like I did so many events in my life, nobody showed up, but I just did it again and again and again. I think, yeah, I mean, that's just the good thing, just keep on going. But is there something else you can tell to like maybe people who are really in the beginning and having like not that much experience? Beside of the advertisement, I think that's a really good advice.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking to another way that people at the beginning they can get contacts, and this is a way that I practice sometime. For example, next week I will do again. I don't know if for sure there are also in German and in Germany and in Switzerland this wellness festival, where you go there and there are maybe many stands with I mean oils, all this stuff related to the holistic world with a lot of people. And I did some festival events, for example, with my stand. In Italy, they are very cheap, because you don't in many of them you don't even have to pay anything to have your stand there. And what I did is that, of course, we cannot sell the oils in Italy directly on these events, but these events are very good to find new people in target with what you do. So what I do usually is the aromatage technique at the hand technique, and this is working a lot. For example, next week in my small town again, there is a sort of I mean, there are many new activities in the city. There is on a holistic center that will do an open day, and I will be there with my stand doing a hand technique, aromatage hand technique to people, of course, for free. I did the same last year. I had the queue of people in line waiting for the aromatage technique, and that is very good, because when people sit down in front of you and you start doing the technique, then you start talking with these people, and you get to discover incredible stuff, and then you say to them, well, in the next 2 weeks, I will do here in this center 2 classes. Will you come? And then last name, first name, email, and phone number. And so at the end of the day, maybe you have to collect 50 contacts, 50 new leads interested in what you are doing. And then from that 50 new leads, you will get for sure new people that will enroll with you. Then these new people will know someone else new, and know and again and again and again. And then the cycle of contacts expands more and more. So yeah, this is a very easy stuff that anyone can do. If you go on YouTube and you search doTERRA hand technique, there is an official video from doTERRA, very, very good, where you can learn how to do the technique. It's very, very easy. It's about 2, 3, maximum 5 minutes of treatment on the hand with the oils, and you can do that. People love it. I can tell you that because I remember last year, at the end of the day, my hand were aching. I mean, I have a lot of pain in the hand because I spent hours doing this technique to people, and this is what I'm going to do next Saturday as well, because we have the same day here in our town. So if you cannot do online advertisement, if you cannot, I mean, if you tried posters in local shop, but this didn't work, you have to try a new way. And for example, one new easy way that anyone can do, even if someone that it is at the beginning, with the enthusiasm, with the energy, is a hand technique, for example. This is what I do as well, and it works. I can tell you that it works.
Such a cool advice. Thank you so much for sharing this. I think a lot of people who are listening who are in the beginning can really work with that advice. That's so cool. So the challenge 100 events in 1 year, so inspiring. I think everybody who's listening, I think it's clear we just can advise to do this challenge. I'm super excited that we are doing it. And I'm super excited to see, of course, what it brings to the business in part of growth. But to be honest, I think it's also really interesting to see what it does for us as leaders. Like, I can already tell that some things are shifting. For example, I'm going to also start in our small town, which I was, to be honest, always avoiding until this point, to do like local events. And I say it now to Rudy, I was like, okay, if we do this challenge, I'm gonna pin my flyers, I'm gonna do events, and I'm super excited to like finally have myself in the mindset to do it. And I think on challenges like that, it's always so good for the own mindset growth and the personality growth. So let's see how we're gonna be in 1 year. But I think it's really, really cool to have the chance to talk with you about this not like common problem, but I think a lot of diamonds who are gonna listen to this podcast can probably relate, that it's kind of a problem to, like, if you hit diamond and then you fall back to gold. And because you had experienced it, I'm interested, like, why do you think this is happening? I mean,
Well, for sure, this happens and can happen because you cannot keep going ahead. But it's normal that maybe at some point you fall back for many reasons. In my case, was because I could count only on 4 silvers, and so I had in my team a few leaders. I mean, the minimum numbers of leaders that you need to qualify as diamond, because for example, if in my case I would have a spare silver, for example, in the case that one of my 4 main silvers was out of the game, I could have another one, and this wasn't a problem for me. But in my case, I didn't have a spare leader. So my one of my goals during the challenge was to build new leaders, to go out of this situation, because with 4 leaders, it's very, very easy to fall back to diamond, to gold, especially if these silvers are not solid. So during my challenge, my goal was especially not a personal goal, but a team goal. I really wanted to do these events to help my silver to become solid. And in fact, all of them during the challenge hit gold. So this
so
was
cool.
this was very, very nice. And then at the same point, help them, but also find a new leaders in my team. In fact, I found a new front line during the end, at the end of my challenge, I had a new leader in my front line, for example. So in my cases, the reason was this one, because if you go while you go higher with the ranking doTERRA, you have to count on much more people than when you are elite. For example, when you are elite, also premier, if you want, you can do also basically everything by yourself. It's not the ideal situation, but if you want to go faster, you can do a lot of the work by yourself. But when you arrive at gold, silver, gold, platinum, diamond, blue diamond especially, you have to count also on other people. So it's not just a game that you play with yourself, but you have for sure to play with other people in your team, and all of these people have to be aligned with what you want to achieve. Because if you want to run, but there is someone in your team, maybe in some special key position, that want to walk and walk slow, then can be a problem, because you have maybe some time also do the job for these people, and it's not the ideal situation. So any person can have different issues, different troubles. In my cases was the lack of builders, of leaders. Now fortunately I solved that situation, and thanks also to the challenge. So I invite again to do the challenge, because the challenge is not always good for you, but for your team, because it will be of inspiration for many people in your team, and this is the best thing.
So cool. Yeah, I think, you said so many important things. I think a main problem of that problem, that from diamond you fall back to gold, is also because silvers are not there yet in the headspace maybe, or and this is not negative, this is just a reality. Like when you are silver, you are still not how can I say that, there's still a lot of growth to do. And I think, like I can remember when I was silver, when I hit first time silver, I was like in the state of mind, like, oh, this is working. I was like starting to trust that whole process, right? But if something comes, for example, like one of your elites having some problems, or there is volume missing, like what you do as a silver is like, well, okay, I mean, then I'm premier this month. So I think that the headspace and the mindset that you say, like, hey, I not want to lose my rank, and not even like even more that you have the headspace of like, I want to have growth, because that's what it's all about, not just because of the business, but because of the higher purpose. That's for me, like, that's why I want to have growth in my business, because I want to see leaders who are reaching ranks. I want to know that we do a lot for healing hands. I want that a lot of people on the where they produce the oils having jobs, getting healthy, having like life saved. Like for me, that's the reason why I want to have the growth in the business, because I know it's a huge impact on the planet. But I think when you're silver or premier, you're just not there yet. It needs some time. You need to go to the convention, as you say, attend the events, to like understand what is doTERRA about. It's so much more than just a business. And I think when you're a diamond, you need a lot of also smartness to lead these silvers to like gold. And that's why it's so important that as an upline we just keep on going to our own growth, because then, as you said, you're always an inspiration for your team.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so cool. So I'm wondering, what are your next goals? And you already said you're gonna start the challenge again. Tell us a bit about it. Like, when do you start it? Like, is there anything you're gonna maybe change to the last challenge, or just give us an update?
Well, honestly, I didn't think of changing anything, but maybe that is something that I can evaluate. I mean, I just have the idea to restart again the challenge, probably this time from September, because on August I will be away on holiday pretty all the month. But
You live the culture. You
yeah,
live the culture in your country. August is vacation.
well, but you know, I will go in Austria, and so I will be there to do events,
Connect.
to do,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, it's an holiday mixed to work, because you know I never go 100% on holiday. I don't know how you were able to go on holiday and be offline for 15 days. For me, just thinking of that, I said, it's impossible for me. My wife would love it, because she would love it. But in my case, I think that I would die.
I can tell you I had to do a lot of mindset work to be able first to do it, to go through it, and to start to loving it. But it was a great experience. I'm not gonna do it every year, I would say, but on this time it was really good. Yeah, but it
Yeah.
was difficult.
Yeah, maybe in the future I will try it. But you know, when I say that I go on holiday, it's just because I go on a different place. But I am not on a holiday mode
Okay,
100%, because
cool. Yeah.
I really I love so much this work, and this
Mhm.
work is not a work for me. Is my life. And so I'm happy every time that someone writes to me about the oils, the business. Every time that I'm around on holiday, but have to talk about the oils. I mean, every time is a good way to prospect, to do events, to do doTERRA. So holiday is just a way to say that I'm not at home, but I am away. Of course, in that case, I don't do the challenge, because maybe I'm not 100% committed as it is if I would be at home. But maybe from September on, I do again the challenge. And my goal, well, I split my goals into different categories, because one is personal goals and one is team goals. Because at that moment, and this particular moment, I'm focused more on the team goals, because I really want to help my leaders to earn more. Because
Mhm.
if they can earn more, this means that they can come more easily to the events.
Mhm.
This means that they can focus on the business, on doTERRA. I mean, they can invest more time, more energy in doTERRA, because they can have a good paycheck, let's say like that. And of course, if they can earn more, they are also more motivated, more happy, and the whole team can benefit from this. So in the next month, my goal is to help people, for example, some people to reach their power of three in the third
Mhm.
line, for example,
Mhm.
stuff like that, because this can give also much more stability
Mhm.
to the whole organization. And then, of course, I have my personal goal for sure is to solidify the blue diamond, because
Mhm.
I hit it in March, but now I'm a solid diamond, not
Mhm.
solid blue diamond. So this is my very next goal. And then if I have to say a goal for the next year, by the end of 2025, I and my wife want to achieve PD, Presidential Diamond. So this is our goal for the end of the year. But I mean, before that, we need to work hard with our leaders, and eventually we'll achieve it.
So cool. I'm 100% sure you're gonna reach your goals, and I can't wait for you to hit PD. I think, yeah, you deserve it more than yeah, like you deserve it in such a strong way, because I think you're such a good role model and inspiration for the whole doTERRA world. And yeah, I really feel honored to have that talk with you. I can say a big thank you for your time, and I think, yeah, in our team it will create a big impact in so many good aspects. And yeah, just from my bottom of the heart, thank you so much for your being, your speech, and everything you shared with us. It was really
You, the
inspiring.
honor was mine. Was so happy to be here, and I really hope to be of inspiring for many people. And if you start doing your 100 events challenge, keep me posted. That I'm more than happy to see your amazing and great results.
I will. I will start actually to like talk on social media this week about it because I was offline, I couldn't talk about it. But yeah, I'm really excited to like put it out. I think it's just fun, and I think that's such a important part of the business to also have fun and bring joy to the world. Yeah. So Margaret, thank you so much for having you, and yeah, I wish you just the very best.
Thank you.